Homeostasis. Homeostasis. Many animals maintain relatively constant conditions in their internal environment through a process known as homeostasis. Even as external conditions fluctuate widely, homeostatic mechanisms regulate internal conditions to keep systems functioning at their optimum. There are two types of feedback systems that regulate homeostasis. They are negative feedback and positive feedback. Negative feedback system. Most of the control mechanisms of homeostasis are based on negative feedback. Negative feedback is when a change in a variable triggers mechanisms that reverse that change. The thermostat in your house works this way. When it registers that it has gotten too cold, the thermostat sends a signal to the furnace to turn on and raise the temperature in the house. The change, cold temperature, triggers mechanisms to reverse it, make it warm. But also keep in mind that the opposite is true. If the house gets too warm, then the thermostat will send a signal to turn the furnace off. So, negative feedback mechanisms, they act in reverse to what the stimulus is. It doesn't mean that they always act in a way that's going negative or like lower in number, lower in temperature. It's just whatever is opposite of the original stimulus. Negative feedback system. On a sunny day, your internal temperature rises above the set point, the normal range, which for most people is about 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. This is detected by sensors in the skin. Sensors send this information to the brain, the control center, where it is processed into a response. Blood vessels dilate, and your body begins to sweat. This allows your temperature to return to the set point. This is negative feedback because the response reverses the stimulus. It's the same thing if your body gets too cold. When your body gets too cold, your brain forms a response, and that response is for your muscles to shiver more, and then your body warms up. Both cases are negative feedback, whether your body tries to bring your temperature down or whether your body tries to bring your temperature back up. It's always negative feedback as long as it reverses the stimulus. Positive feedback system. A positive feedback system is one in which homeostasis is regulated by magnifying a change instead of reversing it. The inflammatory response is an example of a positive feedback mechanism. When injury or infection occurs, histamines are released at the site of damage. Histamines cause local blood vessels to dilate. Blood flow is increased, which causes redness and swelling. The redness and swelling, in turn, causes more histamines to be released. The cycle restarts and is continually amplified until any pathogens are destroyed and homeostasis is restored. Thermoregulation. Animals must regulate how they exchange heat with their environment. Different types of animals have different ways of regulating body heat. Animals fit into one of two categories: ectotherms or endotherms. Ectotherms. Ectotherms are cold-blooded animals. Most of their heat energy escapes into the environment, so their body temperature is close to that of their surroundings. Activity of these animals is drastically affected by temperature changes in their environment. When outside temperatures rise, they become more active. When outside temperatures drop, they become more sluggish in their activity. The disadvantage here is that if danger comes and they're feeling sluggish, they can't run away or escape. But what they can do is they could hibernate a lot easier. If a winter comes and they live in a northern climate, they could just very much stay inactive, like the way fish do underneath a frozen lake. Endotherms. Endotherms are the warm-blooded animals, such as mammals and birds. These animals have evolved homeostatic mechanisms that allow them to use the heat they generate. They have adaptations such as hair, fur, feathers, and fat that help prevent heat loss. They maintain constant body temperatures that are higher than their environment. So they could get up early in the morning when it's cold and just immediately go out hunting or run away from a predator. What are some pros and cons for being endothermic and ectothermic?